Bitcoin currently at $56,600, and you have the shorts taking a little bit of profit, which is why you're getting a short squeeze at the moment, or a little bit of a pump to the upside with the rest of the market. So in today's show, we're going to assess whether now is the time to buy. Is there going to be a major low in the market, or should you wait for much lower prices? Could we still go down to $40,000? We'll assess this and a whole lot more. We'll also have a look at the altcoin sector. So smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. And let's get straight into the show content of the day, which is the banter bubbles over here. You can see, of course, the daily still on the rise up over there, bouncing off of those lows. Hourly also up, weekly still very red, monthly also still very red. So a lot of work to do from the bulls to reclaim some key levels. We'll look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll be honest with you over here on today's show, and we'll look at where prices are likely to go next over the coming weeks. So in the last 24 hours, most of the liquidations over there have been shorts, which got wrecked, obviously trying to short the bottom of the range over there, and 142 million of them got wrecked. 51 million longs got flushed out. And ultimately, I want to focus also quite heavily over here on the stock market, that being the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ on the top right. Now, this is a little bit of a cause for concern for the medium time frame for Bitcoin. It could mean that if we do continue to go lower, you're probably going to find some sort of a low leading into August, maybe September, end of August, beginning of September. And the additional canary in the coal mine last week, the canary in the coal mine was the Friday close, which was the CME Bitcoin close that showed you were creating new swing lows. This time, the canary in the coal mine is the weekly chart for the S&P 500 on the top left and the weekly chart for the NASDAQ on the top right, which you can see is on a TD sequential 9 count. And simply what that means is it's a topping candle, right? Usually when you see this, and you do get extensions, occasionally I've seen it extend, 3, 4, 5 at the most candles beyond this. But the point is that following a pretty mammoth move over here on the stock market, we've had some absolutely stellar runs. Pretty much since October over there, it's been up. Only had one little dip that occurred in April, but you are coming into a TD sequential 9 count, and this could be a potential topping candle. And if it is, that's probably going to cause Bitcoin to go down lower, which means you need to really get your pivot levels correct. You need to focus on the key zones for the market. So we're going to have a look at all of that in today's show. We're going to have a look at the altcoin sector as well, which seems to be doing pretty decently on this bounce. It seems like altcoins are bouncing back much quicker and much harder than what Bitcoin is, and Bitcoin is still holding down at those lows. Now, there is also a possibility that Bitcoin could be in this Wyckoff accumulation schematic where you go through for a secondary test down. This is your spring, you sweep below the range lows. It is a possibility that this could still be in play, which is why if we can reclaim into that range low region, which we recently just lost, that would open up the long trigger, and then you would have your invalidation as the spring. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in today's show. But the high time frame overview is unchanged, right? The high time frame macro overview, what we've been focusing on for a long period of time, is the 1 month chart over here, which is estimating that the Bitcoin bull cycle will top out with the RSI hitting into the top of this trend line over here, which could come anywhere around March of 2025, depending how long this correction is. It could even potentially be delayed all the way to the end of 2025, which is why we have these two different viewpoints, right? So I would say that so far I'm sticking with the base case being the yellow one, and then an extended bull market would be into the green line over here, which would be the difference between March, and the green one would be August to November 2025. And that's based on the prior 4-year cyclical cycles that we see within Bitcoin, where it's 49 months from top to top. This one was 46 months from top to top. So between 46 and 49 months takes you into those zones over there. But the good news is that you've had a very valuable reset on the RSI, right? The RSI has come back down to these levels, which was the last time that we saw Bitcoin, sitting at these levels was, of course, when we're on the prior market cycle top. So it's been a full reset, right? From going from extreme peak all the way down to the bottom, resetting at the top there. The yellow moving average is still trending towards the upside, which is a good sign. The DXY is also still coming down, but it's not giving any sort of relief to the crypto market, which is pretty interesting. This is the one confusing part of our analysis and the divergence that's currently occurring, where we also identified the equal highs, which could still result in one more spike towards the top side over there before a full-on reversal from the DXY. So as it currently stands, this has been the longer-term plan, right? We were looking for price to move up into this region over here and then looking to run a swing short. Should you be shorting at these levels now? Absolutely not. Do not do that. The daily candle is looking like a reversal candle based on yesterday's close, but that is questionable of what happens next. When you bounce off of this region and you lead into the underside resistance over there, is it going to reject? That is the major question, right? So right now, we've adjusted the Fibonacci levels over here, and we have the 0.5 coming in at 64,924, which will be a major resistance area. But I would be looking for something like this on price right now. So I'd be looking for a move up towards here at 60,500. And then that's a big question mark area. If you can break above 60,500, then you could possibly confirm this as a spring, also known as a shakeout within a broader bull run, and then you reclaim into that level. You will get a back test a little bit lower, so you'll probably see a pretty aggressive move, something like that. Come back to test that region over there around 59 to 60,000, and then that's where you could start to look for new opportunities to long. And then again, you have to play a defensive game based off that long when you come into the 0.618 and 65. If there is any sign of a rejection over there, then again, you may be going in for a deeper correction. And timing wise, if you look at the bottom axis over there, you can see that lines up with somewhere around the middle of August that you would probably play out the rest of the move. So with that being said, that's essentially what we're looking at, right? If you look at the hash ribbons indicator, it's still red. Miners continue to sell, but this is one of the longest periods of selling that they've ever seen. So you would be expecting that at some point soon, we're going to get the hash ribbons blue buy indicator where the bulls will start to take back control once again. As it currently stands, bears are in control. Let's have a look at the CME chart as well. So if we just go over here, what you can do is you can focus on the Bitcoin chart. This is the normal Bitcoin spot chart. We've broken below the range level. We've broken below the previous month's low and the previous week's low. Those are pivot levels that we need to reclaim. Most importantly, for me personally, we are below the 21 exponential moving average, and it's angled towards the downside. And this means you need to see a pretty big snapback to reality, right? If you look at the CME chart, the futures chart. Now, this doesn't trade over the course of the weekend. You have another close, right? So last week, this was the canary in the coal mine. This was the close over here. Why was it a canary in the coal mine? Because it closed below the 21 exponential moving average, started to angle it down. And on top of that, you created a new swing low, closing below those weekly lows. Ultimately, that means you would expect continuation down. And that's exactly what we've started to see. And the futures chart is beating a different drum to what the spot chart is, because of course we've already closed there, and here you have the spot chart, which is attempting to bounce back. So a lot of work to do from the bulls. It definitely warrants caution within this type of environment, and we'll go over all the various key levels, because there is definitely buy the dip zones which you definitely need to be focused on. And I think that as it currently stands, the way that I'm positioning myself is I haven't deployed any additional capital. My first level that I'd be willing to deploy at is going to be the dotted line over here, which is currently coming in at 50,576. If price does rebound from here and reclaim 60,500, I'll start to consider taking a new long position over there. Alternatively, I'm simply just waiting. It's either going to be 50,576, or I'm looking to deploy pretty heavily over here at $44,000 should price actually get into that level. So we still have the BBWP, which is starting to expand over here, showing new volatility is about to come into the market. And unfortunately, this time that volatility is towards the downside, right? We're in one of the longest corrections, 114 days, with a 27.54% drawdown. Now, the drawdown is not out of the question. This is normal. We see this in these bull markets. We typically see these 30 to even 45% corrections. But as the asset class matures and becomes bigger and bigger and more money comes in, you expect that some of that volatility and those extreme swings will start to diminish, right? So could it be that this is it? 27.5% is the bottom? Of course, it's possible, but I'm telling you, play a defensive game because you need to reclaim some key levels. If you mega conservative, because I know I have a lot of different types of viewers on the show over here. Some of you are trading with extreme amounts of money, very high net worth individuals. So for someone like that, who's not willing to take on extreme risk, I would say wait for the reclaim of that candle over there, which is going to be coming in at $63,801. And this level changes, right? As time passes, this level changes. This will be your risk on signal. If you can get back above that, you, as a high net worth individual, can start to look for opportunities to get back into the market. Above this level, there will be pullbacks along the way, and then you'll have a safer entry. As it currently stands, you're taking on a lot of risk by buying into a downtrend, right? Bulls have been in full control over here. But yes, we understand 27.54% could be enough, but could be is not good enough when you're putting your life savings into something, right? You need a much more certainty within the market. So we came within a smidge of hitting that level. And this is why I say this is looking like a reversal candle on the daily. It could bounce from here. And we said there will be bounces along the way. That level was coming in. We said anywhere between 50,577 to $53,128. And this is the order block that led to this big move towards the upside. And price, of course, reverting almost all the way back to that. We missed it by what must be less than 1%. Let's just quickly have a look over here. Let's grab our ruler. So we missed this by 0.84%. So I'm inclined to believe that you'll start to get a bounce. If you get back above 57,800, that will be a good sign to send the RSI back up. But as you can see, the range low level is clear. Now, a pretty catastrophic thing to occur would be this: if price does move up and rejects from that range low, and you need to be expecting that. This is the higher probability play. The higher probability play is that price will revert back up, springing into that zone, but rejecting because you have all this underside resistance over here. Plus, you have the 9 and the 18 exponential moving average, which are in a strong downtrend. You can see, remember, the more they split away from each other. So if you look at the top part over here, this divergence between the 9 and the 18, the yellow and the pink, only just started to spread over there. And now you can see it's getting wider and wider and wider and wider. That widening shows that bears have increased control, which means that when price pushes up into the 60K level, it's more likely than not that you are going to reject from that level. And if you do reject, I'm going to be looking for a big short position. I think that you'll maybe come deeper into here one more time, have a bit of a bounce, and then the next attempt, you're going to lose that level, and your next major support comes in anywhere between $40,000 and $44,000. So that is the reality of the matter. Now, all you need to do is be patient. Patience gets paid in this type of game, right? What would a patient trader do? A patient trader would, again, as mentioned, wait for the reclaim of that. So you'd be looking for something like this, the confirmation of a break above that, a break of structure. You come back down, you anyway back test the range lows once again as support. In that instance, you have your Wyckoff reaccumulation schematic with the shakeout phase, shaking bulls out and getting back long into that zone over there. It's really as simple as that. Those are the two scenarios. If I'm talking circles around you and you're not really sure what I'm speaking about, please understand that there is also Whale School where I cover every single one of these fundamental things that I'm speaking about right now. There's a link in the description below. They extended it we did the welcome event already, but we're having workshop 1 on Wednesday. If you do want to join, it's literally entirely free, right? You don't have to pay a single cent. You'll fund your own account with $100. That's your school fees, your educational fees. We don't have that money. You have that money. It's in your own crypto exchange. That crypto exchange, once verified with $100 in, will open up the whole of crypto school for you. You can access every single module in this course. Okay. Now, the reason I say that bears are in control is because if you look at this over here, you can see, right, the open interest has come down. As open interest comes down, price is spiking towards the upside over there. And this simply just means that it's shorts taking profit in the market now in the very, very short term on the 15-minute time frame. If we go into this chart as well over here, what you'll see is, of course, the 200 exponential moving average on the 15-minute time frame is currently governing that trend towards the downside, and you have some clear levels of horizontal resistance, which we found at right now. So if we run that across, you do have resistance over there, and then of course you're going to have more resistance over here. There's a lot of work for the bulls to do to get back above. So it's not wise to start opening up giga longs over here in this current position, because which way is the trend? Which way are the horizontals, right? Now you have both diagonals towards the downside, horizontals overhead, and you have lower lows and lower highs with EMAs overhead as resistance. Be careful, guys. That's all that I'm saying. Don't start opening up longs now. If you were trying to buy the dip on a low time frame, the time to do that would have been yesterday, where you saw the candles printing like this. This would have been an opportune candle to build a quick long into resistance on. Those traders will now be looking to take profit, right? So if you took this trade over here, you would have been looking to get long over there, stops below. And my target personally would be literally straight into that underside resistance, which means that trade is over, right? A 3.7 to 1 risk to reward ratio trade is over. As it currently stands now, you'd be more looking to counter this trade and wait for a weakening trend over here and for this to roll over on the 15-minute time frame. The total 3 chart has shown a valuable reset over here. We eventually got the sweep below the mid-range level, and it's attempting to close back above. So again, if Bitcoin can break above $60,000, confirming that spring phase of the Wyckoff accumulation schematic, then this would look very, very similar, right? You'd have this breaking back into trend, and it would take time. You'd see a lot of chop around here, right? You'd see probably something like this over time before breaking out back into that zone. Again, showing you that patience is the name of the game. So we'll have a look at the altcoin sector over here. There's a whole lot of coins to look at. For what it's worth, you guys know that Solana is probably my biggest, not probably, it is, it's my biggest position. Solana is my biggest position. I still remain long on Solana. I have not cut the position for anyone out there that is wondering, because I do get a lot of messages from friends and family. Have you sold your Solana bags? No, I have not sold my Solana bags. I do still see this as a bullish continuation pattern, right? Big move up, creating the pole. Now forming a wedge over here, getting tighter and tighter. We are below the 200 exponential moving average, which is a pretty key level that we need to reclaim, right? We need to see this get back above, hold above, and then we can start to challenge towards the top side, which is still going to be resistance. And this is totally dependent on what Bitcoin does, right? If Bitcoin obviously starts to fail at these levels and starts to create new swing lows, it is going to be catastrophic. But it's interesting to see, nevertheless, the way the altcoin sector is responding to the current bounce versus Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin down 0.12%, Solana up almost 2%, Casper 2.6%, and you can go through the list, right? Some coins up 6%, 7%, 4%. Let's see what the meme coin sector looks like over here. Some of the memes, 9%, 7%. So there are bounces. So let's get into it. Let's take some altcoin requests over there, and I'll have a look at some of your coins. Okay, what have we got? All right. Okay. How many people are live as well, by the way? Smash the like button, guys. It helps to get the show content out there. I know this is irregular streaming time over here. 1,746 of you live and only 105 likes. Please do me a massive favor. Smash the like button. If you don't like the show content, you just click that one twice. There you go. Click that one twice. But if you do like it, smash the like button. And then I will be taking altcoin requests. So I see Turbo, ZRO, Sui, Arbitrum. Okay, we'll have a look at those. What else have we got? Jupiter. We haven't looked at Jupiter for quite some time. Sep, can you hear me, bro? Am I on the... Just let me know. I see that I'm frozen. Guys, believe it or not, I literally bought a brand new MacBook Pro yesterday. I'm using it now, and the screen's frozen. I don't know if there's a problem with Macs worldwide or if it's literally just mine. Okay, I'm back, right? I'm back. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Brand new Mac. Can you believe it? And the screen still freezes. What the hell is going on over here? Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗡𝗧. Let's go through the altcoin requests. So starting off over here with 𝗕𝗢𝗢, because we just covered that over there. Yesterday I told you close out most of your profits on the 𝗕𝗢𝗢 short position, which we gave in whale room. That trade obviously has now come to its end. Let's close that out, see what's happening over here on the higher time frame for 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢. So 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢 looking like a strong candle over there. If you can get above the range highs over here, mega bullish. This is probably tie with Bitcoin as my or let's say it's actually not tie with Bitcoin. It's my third biggest position. Solana biggest, Bitcoin second biggest. Third is 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢, and ETH are probably equal in size. So I'm looking for 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢 to break back above 18.3, and that will look really good for continuation. This is definitely yesterday's candle looking like a major reversal candle on 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢. So altcoins holding up very strong in comparison to what you're seeing on Bitcoin. If you look at the 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢 BTC chart as well, very strong. Also looking like a confirmed high low. We were looking for price to come a bit lower, but I would be willing to raise this over here and say, well, maybe this is now the level to defend, because we've seen multiple days of bullish absorption coming into this zone over here on the 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢 BTC chart, and I'd be looking for continuation from that point. Okay, let's continue. AVAX, how's AVAX doing? So AVAX kind of in the middle of no man's land. I wouldn't take a trade over here. There's not much to say. It's similar to Bitcoin. It's just in the middle of nowhere. We need much more clarity on the chart, which would be a big bounce up, a reclaim over here of $30. But if you look over here at the closing candles, let's just quickly measure that out. Okay, it is a new closing low. So that candle did close lower. You can see that is a closing low, but I wouldn't be surprised if the whole market does bounce and you do see something like this. That would be a pretty behemoth shakeout. A lot of people look at that as a double bottom on AVAX. Okay, DOT. Okay, DOT has broken the upsloping trend line, obviously got thrown back. Bullish demand did come in. Levels to clear. I'd rather just wait for this to get back above 656. 656. Matic, how's Matic doing? Sandeep's Matic. Okay. All right. Matic, not looking good. So, yes, this could be a deviation, just like the rest, right? You could have a deviation over here. 1, 2, 3. This could be a deviation. Wait for the reclaim into the range. Wait for the breakout above the breakdown level, which is this candle over here. If you get above 57.60, that would be the area to look at. Okay, Audi Link. Let's have a look at Link. Okay, nice reaction over here on Link. This would be enough for me to take a long on something like Chainlink. Why? Well, you are holding a pretty key level over here horizontally. This is a super key level if you look back in time. Prior, there you go, support, breaks it down, holds up over here, comes back, support, and coming back into that level once again. So stops would go below the daily over there. You could probably trade this back as a new range. I'd be viewing it as such, right? This would be the range. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Let's clean this up. Very messy chart now at the moment. Okay, what is this red line? That's a fib. Let's take this over here. There you go. So for Chainlink, this would be a trade that I would actually be willing to take. Especially if you break back into that range over there. This would become the trade. Okay, stops below, target to the top side over there. Totally depending on what Bitcoin does as well. Be careful with any longs. Okay, let's go down. How's NIA doing? Okay, NIA, be careful of the underside retest at $5. If that starts to act as resistance, it may come down. So yeah, I'm not willing to take a long on NIA personally. Okay, lithium. Very bad. Does look like a bottoming candle over here where you might just get one more spike up. But again, be careful of the resistance. So if you are long on this, you can probably offload some at about 160 in the underside resistance. It may come down again. If not, if it shows strength and it reclaims, then yes, you view that as the deviation back into the range. Okay, this one's looking super strong. Mantra. Very strong. Much stronger than Ondo. I told you a while ago, it looks like there's some sort of a rotational shift coming from Ondo into Mantra, reclaiming the range high over there. Definitely not too bad. If you look at Ondo came sweet into the key area over there at $1. That was the mark. So if you are looking for long, this may have been a little bit of a shakeout scenario. This was our LARP lines and our drawings of what we're looking at. I think for Ondo, it does warrant an opportunity at least to build a long over there. Hard stop below this candle over here, which was the low. So, of course, you understand that if Bitcoin goes down, this is going to be incredibly risky. But if you are looking at something like that, you could trade this back to the top side of the range. That gives you a 3.78 to 1 risk to reward ratio. And I genuinely would be willing to possibly take this bet. I'll relook things after the show over here and how the market reacts later on today. I think this might be a trade that I would take. Okay, Turbo. Let's have a look at Turbo. Okay, Turbo. So we said watch for the sweep below the range lows. You've now officially got that sweep below the range lows. The trade is still the same as the last time that I mentioned it. If you can now see price close back above that range low, the level is reading the last 5 digits. 36,588. If you can get back above that, that can open up the long trade stops, go below here. But really, to shift the momentum, you need to break above this candle over here, which is going to be 48,696. Okay, Foxy also situated at that range low region. What else do we have? How's Brett doing? Okay, Brett's holding at the mid-range. This is an area where you would expect it to hold support if the market is to continue bullish, which is at the mid-range, taken from the bottom to the exact top candle. You mark at the 50% level. Those are significant zones. Okay, Arweave. Let's go to Arweave. If there's any tech geniuses out there that can tell me why my computer freezes up on the tabs, please DM me. I would really appreciate that. DM me on Twitter. Guys, I literally bought a brand new Mac. This thing's an M3 chip, like highest spec laptop that you get, and it's still doing the same thing. So I didn't do a full copy across. What I did is I reset everything. The only thing is the Chrome tabs were remembered based off my iCloud. If any of you know, it can't be memory. You guys say it sounds like memory. This is literally a brand new computer. There's nothing on it. It's literally new. There's nothing. Let me know. Let me know. Send me a message on Twitter. I would very much appreciate and value anyone with tech experiences, opinions over here. Okay. Arweave, on a serious note. So we got a couple that look good, right? Arweave looks decent over here for a bounce. Ondo looks decent as well. Ondo, Arweave, those are probably the 2 best ones that I've seen today. This would be the same thing. And I actually would be willing to take this trade. I might take this trade now on the show. This would be the Arweave trade. I think that's a valuable trade. I might take that. So let's lock that in. Okay. Arweave would be long over here. Stops below those candles, of course. So let's go on to Bybit. No, we don't need that Bybit. Look, come on, bro. What are you doing? There we go. Okay, daily. Let's just view the daily. Okay, and we'll zoom in. Let's just chart it over here. By the way, guys, if you do want to take this trade with me on Bybit, there is a link in the description below. It gives you access to up to $30,000 in sign-up bonuses. There it is. Depends on how much you deposit, obviously. But please click that link over there if you are going to join Bybit. It definitely helps the channel and it helps me as well. So this is our area of interest. Let's just quickly mark out the levels before we get overly excited here. Okay. All right. All right, guys, just be patient. I just want to mark out some key zones over here. Okay, this is, of course, our area of interest. Now, it's a bit of a sketchy trade to take purely because it's the weekend, but you know, sometimes you get those weekend pumps. So my only concern is that this is going to meet major resistance alongside Bitcoin, which is this. If we bring this up, look at that underside resistance. Yes, we've broken the downsloping trend line, but I am worried that you start to reject. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to scale into this position. So I would look to enter some of the position in here, and we'll move this up. This would be for a broader trade, right? That would be the trade. I mean, look, from entry to stop is 15% down, right? So you're taking on quite a substantial amount of risk. So you really need to scale into these positions pretty carefully. I'm going to drop the leverage pretty low. I'll go on a 3x leverage. Let's just see over here, tools. I'm going to go to tools. I'm going to go to scaled orders because this just keeps our life simple and makes it very, very easy to get in. I'm going to start scaling in from 22,362. Wait, 22. I'm going to go from, let's just round up, 22.4. I'm going to scale down to 20.366. 20.366. And I'm going to run about 20 grids across here. Actually, let's go 15. And I'm going to take about capital-wise 20%. So let's scroll through. There we go. So that'll give me an average entry. It's a $10,000 position. Average entry at 21.84. So let's hit it. Okay, there we go. Orders are going through. So that's one trade. There we go. We filled on the first one. If price comes down a bit more, we'll start scaling into the rest. But that's one of the trades. Okay, and some of you say you just entered. Timeout says he just entered the Ondo trade. I think that's a good trade as well. Let's take a quick look at Ondo. Stop loss below here, by the way. Obviously, stop loss below here. So I'll add the stop loss in now. Let's see. Stop loss. The only thing, I don't want to add the stop loss in. You guys choose your general area. The reason why is because if you all put your stop losses in the same place as me, we all do the same thing. A market maker sees the liquidity there and it's ripe for the taking. So I'm going to put my stop loss in afterwards, but it's going to be in this region over here, just so you know. Okay, let's take the Ondo trade as well. I think the Ondo trade was good. Let's take the Ondo trade. Ondo's had so much relative strength. I think that if the market is going to bounce, you need to bet on relative strength. Now, this is a short-term trade. There's a difference between taking a trade for the risk-to-reward ratio versus taking the trade for a long-term investment or swing trade. Long-term investment swing trades better be in an uptrend against Bitcoin. Do not take it if it's not an uptrend against Bitcoin. Quick trades like this, you can take as a risk-to-reward ratio. Arweave is not in an uptrend against Bitcoin. It's weak. So let's go to Ondo. Okay, I'm going to do a similar setup over here. All right. Let me just double check this one. I don't love this one. But I think for a small position, it's okay. Okay, just switching to isolated, moving to 3x leverage. That's enough for me. I'm going to take it over 15. And same thing, I'm just going to scale into this region over here. Okay, so all right, 9964 for the first order. Down to the second order will be at the bottom over here, 0.91. Okay, 5%. What's the size of that trade? 2,000. Let me go a bit more. Okay, that's about okay. That's about a $3,700 trade. I'll take it. Okay, orders are filling. You can see on the bottom over here, it's placing all the grids. So there's the current orders. If prices come down, some of those will be filled. I will add in stops after the show. Of course, below the wick lows, right? You don't want price to come back down there again. Casper, I'm already mega long, so I'm not going to add to that. That's looking strong. By the way, guys, if you want to learn also about the way that I enter into trades, that's critical, is the way that you time your entry is the most important thing, right? And the way that you enter into that trade, then again, please join Whale School. Everything is in there. It's free, guys, 100% free. 4 days, 7 hours left before the first cohort or the first workshop begins. The last workshop we did was the welcome workshop. And then also, I just want to give a shout out to NordVPN. Keep your data safe for the bull market. If you click over there, click the deal, it'll come through to you. They're literally giving you 71% off. It's less than the price of a cappuccino. You get all these features, 30-day money back guaranteed. If you don't like it, you have to, if you're in crypto and you have wallets, please, you have to have a VPN at the very, very least. Okay, let's take a couple more. What else have we got? Let's quickly review Rune. How's Rune doing? Because that was one that we were obviously looking at. I mean, so close. I don't know if it's going to get there. I think that could have been front run. Another 4.7% away before hitting that level at $2.97. That was the zone for Rune that we were looking at. Okay, let's look at Aether, because I see someone wants to see Aether. I had it. Also, I got into the IDO for Aether, so I'll have a look at Aether. I mean, they're obviously holding the market over here. They definitely have market makers on this. I mean, that's Aether. That's it. Like, they're holding these levels. So I think anything that you can get with wicks below, their market makers clearly buying this up every single time price comes into there. Look at the 4-hour time frame. Remember, these guys had big funding, right? So they have huge money. They're defending these regions over here. Your range lows at 0.06278. All right, what else? Let's quickly check high block capital as well. Probably have to reload all of this. I wonder if it's high block capital causing me issues. Ever since they did an update is when I've had problems. They made a big update on their platform, and ever since then, it hasn't been the same. Okay. Delta negative on literally everything, right? So Bitcoin, ETH, Sol, Pepe, WIF, NEAR, all negative. One thing I did want to look at is this, which was the liquidation levels. You can see you came deep into that liquidity that has officially been taken. Now, usually it goes from liquidity to liquidity, which means adding support. If you do break into that range at $60,000, boom, that opens the long trade. You're going for the top side liquidity next. All right, guys, that's it from me. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate each and every single one of you. By the way, I will be on this channel from Monday, the same channel, not on Banter Plus, but on this channel. Love you all madly. Have an absolute stellar weekend. And cheers for now.